Shay, and I'm back with another episode of the ShayS Relationship Files. And this morning, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's staying safe out there. I kind of want to do a little twist on this episode. I wanted to do kind of a topic slash story time in a sense. And I thought about starting this a few times out of my episodes. I may do a subject about relationship and share my own personal experience. Um, so today this episode will discuss your first date. Do you remember your first date? And if you do remember your first date, what did it entail? And when the first date determine how you felt about your mate today. So for me, I remember my first date with my husband. So I think I was like um, maybe 18, just turning 18, yeah. Or maybe a little, or 19, around there. Yeah. So I remember my husband picking me up, but unfortunately back then, in that moment, we didn't have a car, so he technically caught the bus to my my house at the time, which is with my mom, and I remember we caught the bus to a movie, and then after the movie, we went to Michael's. It's a restaurant that's in our area. I'm not sure if it's a Michael's anywhere in other places, but in our area, there's a Michael's. Michael's is kind of like an old fashioned version of Denny's. Like before Denny's came out, it was Michael's. And it's like, but an older fashioned one from like ages ago, where you pretty much they had the same dynamic like Denny's, like you could order breakfast, lunch, or dinner at any time. And I believe they open 24 hours, but I could be wrong about that. They probably just open so many hours. I don't think they were 24 hours, but I do not remember because I haven't been there in ages. But yeah, I do remember our first date, and I remember how polite my husband was. That was my boyfriend at the time, but now my husband. But yeah, so um, he took me to a movie. I don't remember what movie we saw though, but I do remember after that going to Michael's. I remember I ordered breakfast because I love pancakes, so I ordered pancakes, and I believe it was a day date. I remember being during the day, so yeah. Um, we ate breakfast and we talked and we got to know each other more, and we just asked different questions and we had a really good time. And that was one thing about my husband, is that we vibed very easily with each other. And that's always been that way ever since we met. Um, it's just always been very easy going and very easy flowing conversation. It never was forced conversation, because you know how sometimes if you go on a date with someone, it kind of be awkward and you're like, you kind of nervous on what to say or whatever. Even though we were high school sweethearts, because we met in high school, so we were already comfortable with each other anyways. But still, sometimes people can meet in school and still be like awkward once they're, in private spaces of each other. But for us, it was never like that, and it's still like that till this day. Even being married, we still have that just easy flow of conversation. Like we could not see each other for hours, or he could be at work or whatever, and right when we're back together, we just have so much to talk about. We just have so much to say to each other, which is kind of when I knew I really liked him. And of course, over time, it grew to me falling in love with him because I am not a person that's easily comfortable right away with people, I would say. I would say I do have a bit of a trust with people when I don't know them. And even if I did see you and, if we were in the same space or somewhere, like, or I've seen you a couple times, that don't automatically just make me comfortable just because, oh, we spoke sometimes, or, oh, I've seen that person a few times. Like, it's not that easy for me to just be comfortable right away. It takes a little bit, because I try to, when I meet people, I try to really feel them out in a way, like not necessarily let them know that it's like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to get a vibe, but when you meet someone, you just try to get a vibe, like to see how this person is. Like, is this person somebody you think you can get to know? Is this person like, no, I probably don't want to get to know them, that type of thing. So yeah, but with my husband, it's just always been very easy going when it comes to us talking, and we can just talk about nothing, and it's just always been like that. And that's what I think one of the things about him compared to people I met prior, that I didn't have that with. Because I feel like a lot of people I met prior, it was very stale. There wasn't much converse. It wasn't that, like, really talking about, like, me and my husband can talk about everything, and it's any topic about anything. Like, I'm not a sports fan. I know some women that may like basketball or football or both. Me personally, I mean, I used to like basketball sometimes. I used to even play basketball in middle school, which that's a story for another time. But I'm not too much into sports. I mean, I know the basic because, of course, with having a husband, all you guys know. I mean, they talk about basketball and teams and stuff, and then they watch these sportscaster shows. So, like, that's how we most of the time find out who's, who and all that good jazz. But yeah. So the thing is, I'm not that big of sports, so, but even with that subject, we still have something to say. And it's times I will look at those things just so I can have a little information on it. So when my husband talks to me about it, I won't be completely out of the loop. But yeah. So back to the date. So it was nice. And I, like I said, I felt really comfortable. And like I said, that's not an easy thing for me to just feel really comfortable with someone right off like I did. And he was very polite till this day. And that's another thing I like about my husband is, till this day, he still opens the door for me. Never stopped. He started doing that when we met, and he's never stopped doing it. He still, but now not only does he hold the door for me, he held the door for our daughter too, which I think is wonderful, because then she gets to see how a man's supposed to treat a woman and show respect. Even years later, you still do that, open the door, for your significant other and this, that, and the third. But yeah, he still opens the door for me. And I was actually shocked, funny thing, when we first went out, because before him, I've never had someone open the door for me. Anybody I've ever even had a like for prior to my husband, I don't think ever opened the door for me. Not once. Now, my friends, like friends I've known, they'll be respectful, of course, and do that, but not a person I was interested in have ever did that up until I met my husband. He opened the door for me all the time. He still does till this day. I don't even have to say it. Like I've met people that say, "Oh, I gotta tell him, oh, open the door for me." I've never had to do that with my husband. He automatically does it, and that's just the sweetest thing. And as people say, sometimes chivalry is dead. Hello, Kaya. Thanks for joining me. Hi. How are you this morning? I hope I'm saying your name right, please. If I mispronounce your name, just let me know. Is it Kaya or is it? Thank you for joining my live, you guys. Yeah, I'm so happy to see some people on here. We're just talking about first dates. I was talking about my first date I had with my husband. I would love to hear some of you guys' first dates. Because I know some people had some of the awkward first dates, some people had really good first dates. But yeah, to continue on what I was saying, uh, where was I? So yeah, so yeah, so he opened the door for me all the time. He's been doing this since day one, and that's what made him stand out to me out of all the people I dated prior. Which that's why I say I wish I would have waited today until I got older because I wouldn't have had so much of negative and heartache that I had to deal with before I met my husband. So that's why I'm happy that I met him older and I was able to see just the great part of his personality. Because again, like I said, that threw me for a loop for him even opening the door for me, even from the whole beginning when we first met, and still almost 10 years later, he still does it. And I just think that's the sweetest thing because, as they, like I said before, some people think chivalry is dead, but it depends on the person because my husband, and I always say that's also because of his upbringing. We both had similar upbringings, but that's another story for another day because I don't want to give all the story. But I'm going to get back to the date details. So, we had breakfast. I remember it was, and even though it was a lunch and breakfast place like Denny's or whatever, where you can order whatever you want on that, and they offer different things. We had that, and we just talked and found out a lot of things we had in common, and then we went to the movies and all that. Yeah, and we had many other dates after that. A lot of times it was a movie, or going out to eat. And yeah. So that is my date story. I would love to hear about you guys at first date experiences, and did that determine what you thought about the person during your date? Definitely let me know. I'm gonna stay on here for a little bit more to kind of see what y'all think or what some experiences you guys had. And speaking of which, since we're on the topic of dates, I've been seeing the craziest thing of somebody putting that they feel that if it's not an expensive restaurant. Oh, and by the way, with my date, my husband did pay. And he did not have the most lavish job ever, but he made sure he paid. I didn't pay. Not that I wouldn't have mind if I needed to, because of course we were young at that time, so we didn't have much. But he made sure he paid, even when we were younger, and he would even go as far as go to the blood bank to get money just so he can pay for our date to make sure we eat something. So I mean, my husband has always went above and beyond for me, even from day one. Um, yeah. So that was another thing that I felt was very good about him. Even though for me, I don't mind sharing or splitting a bill. That's not a problem for me. But yeah, what I was going to say before that was I've been seeing the craziest things lately of these women posting about how if a man don't take them to expensive places, then they consider that as a red flag. Since we on the subject of dating, I just would like to talk about that just a moment. I feel like that's stupid because me and my husband didn't have much at that age. We were both still living at home, and I mean, he had little summer jobs, things where he'd have a little extra money in his pocket or something. But like, I feel like it's the effort. It's not about where you go. It's how you make it. Like the saying of a vacation. A vacation is where you make it. So a vacation is where you make. If you with the person you really like and you like being with that person, then it shouldn't matter if y'all at a McDonald's. As long as it's clean, y'all enjoying each other company. It's not necessarily always about the food. I mean, as long as you're not somewhere where you gonna get some food poisoning or you in like or go get harmed in some way or something like that. I just feel like that's just stupid to me. I mean, of course, pick somewhere that's as clean as it can be, but it don't have to be the like the best, biggest, nicest, most expensive $30 meals. I mean, even before we were in inflation, I've kind of always been frugal. I don't like to spend too much, especially on out food. Before I spend a whole bunch of money on out food, I would rather cook. I would, I just, I could, I've always been frugal. Even as a young teenager, I was always frugal. I didn't like spending more if I didn't have to. I always tried to find the more affordable option first. And also, since I got some of you on here too, what are some topics on relations that you would like me to do on some of my lives for? Because I did a few of them on different topics that I found, but also I would love to hear from you guys on some topics of relationships you want to discuss on my podcast. I would love it, and I would love to get you guys' opinion on that. And also, I wanted to thank everyone who subscribed to my channel. You guys are definitely helping my channel grow, and I appreciate everyone that listens in on me in the morning. And I thank you for the subscribers I have so far. We're almost at 300 subscribers. I want to keep it going. I want you guys to keep sharing and subscribing to my channel so I can help this channel grow. And hopefully we can get to the 500 subscribers or more soon. So yeah, I wanted to put that out as well and say thank you for that. But yeah, I like I was saying, I just think it's stupid that when somebody say, "Oh, it gotta be Red Lobster, it gotta be something expensive for somebody to take them to," like that's just stupid. I just think sometimes you have to whatever the person is giving their best towards and what they can do, that should be enough. The fact that they make the effort and the fact that they did the best they can should put a smile on your face. Like I said, as long as they're not taking you to some rat infested or something like that, like even sometimes the best dinner is just ordering something at your house and having a little candlelight dinner. Sometimes, you know, Going out ain't always. Sometimes just a home date is just good enough. But I just feel like sometimes some of these women out here that be saying things like that, they just don't have enough gratitude or appreciation. I even talked about how important appreciation is in a relationship in general, in marriage, and it's like a lot of these women growing up seem like feeling entitled, and it's I grew up in kind of a different way. I've always grown up to learn that if a person is trying and doing the best that they can, then you should appreciate that. Now, I can see if the person is not really trying and they just not caring, not now that's a different story. But when the person is doing the best they can, like you should just be grateful for it, and you should just appreciate the efforts being made. Because a lot of the stories I've heard, and a lot of the men out here, and some women don't care to show any effort or don't have no respect for women in general. So if you find somebody that's doing the best they can do and trying to provide the best of their ability, you should just appreciate that, and you should see that as a good thing, see that as a loving thing, because that has definitely grown cold with a lot of these people that I hear their relationships and things, and just how people act and treat each other, especially in relationships. So, like I said, I think these women out here that be trying to be picky on that gotta be expensive restaurants just so they can go out on a date, like you is being you just doing too much at this point. Like everybody don't have that money anyway to do that, especially nowadays. Like it's not that easy to spend all that money. That's crazy. And I mean, you shouldn't even be able to determine. That shouldn't even be a determination on how much money somebody spend on you. So you basically kind of saying you can be bought, and it's like, what about the things you can't buy with money? Because the money leaves eventually. What do you hold on to? If something was to happen, or if the person ended up making lesser than that. So what do you hold on to? The little things I would think would be important are the memories of things that just didn't take no effort at all. Just waking up making breakfast for you and you didn't know he was making breakfast, or or just buying you flowers just cuz, or like those things. And it's not always gotta, like I said, surrounded by buying you something or the most expensive of something. Because once after you eat that meal, it's not like the meal gonna last in your stomach forever. Like it's gonna turn gold in your stomach, and it's just gonna bronze and over time just stay, and you go all like that's just dumb. Like that, I just find that so dumb to me. Especially like I said, I grew up in a time totally different from that, where you just you know you don't do that. You, like I said before, if the person is trying and doing the best they can to show you a good time, you appreciate that. Don't sit there and be picky. Like I said, as long as you're not in the back of a dumpster somewhere eating or something like that, like, then don't complain. If the place is decent, it's clean, you with somebody you enjoy being with, that's what's important. The memories you're making together, not how much he's paying on your food bill. Like some of these women that think that need to stop. Like really, like I just feel like now it's so many women that's getting taught to feel so entitled and to have such a big headedness now that they think, oh, I gotta get everything expensive. Everything gotta be this. And not saying, again, and I say this in all my videos, I'm not trying to judge no one. Because everybody has a right to live their life how they want to live it. I'm just talking for me. Me. I personally do not feel like that's how you should judge a person when you're with them or dating someone. Like, that's not what you should look at. I mean, like I said, with my dating experience with my husband, it wasn't the most expensive restaurant, but it was a clean restaurant. It was a place he knew I liked it because we ate there once before. No, actually, no. That was the first day. So no, that was my first time being at Michael's. But the point is, I just remember he suggested Michael's because he knew about it. I got it confused from a date we had after that. But yeah, so he knew about this place and he recommended it. And I was like, oh, it's really nice and stuff because it was really nice, restaurant. I mean, it was something nice enough to me. It wasn't to me like a nasty looking place, and the people were decent. It was decent service, It was good enough. And it was the fact that, like I said, he put the effort and he paid with his own money to take me out. And he paid for everything, and even and bus fare to get me home. He caught the bus all the way to my house, and even caught the bus back to his house. So, I personally appreciated that. He still does those things now when we go out, and he still, that hasn't changed at all. But I am gonna get going, you guys. I really enjoyed being online with you guys this morning, talking about my experience with my first date with my husband. And if you guys enjoyed this, definitely let me know. I've been thinking about lately doing more story times again with different scenarios in relationships. So if you guys really enjoyed this, definitely let me know, and we could definitely do more of these lives like this with like story time and also giving you guys opinions on the matter. And again, like, share, subscribe, everyone. Stay safe out there, and I will see you guys next video. Peace.